Hello traders, this is Blake Morrow and you are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. I hope everybody's having a great trading session is what I was trying to say. It's been, it's been a little bit of volatility. A couple things aren't really jiving, and I'm going to talk about that. But first and foremost, I have to mention that we have, let me minimize the screen over here. The equity markets continue to rally. So, we're over here, and the S&Ps are nearing, they're at new trend highs, right? We are very close to hitting the 127% extension of this is of the latest downdraft. So what I expected with the S&P is to hit this 127% extension, I'm sorry, of this move right here, hit the 127% extension, not quite hit all-time highs and then reverse lower. But that looks like it's gonna happen. If it's gonna happen like that, it's gonna happen over the next 24 hours, probably into tomorrow. This is the beginning of the month, first day of the month, got some buying coming in. That kind of thing. All right, so I guess one of the things that really has me questioning the market rally right now is the sell-off in emerging market currencies. If you guys haven't seen it, the US dollar Mexican peso is breaking out, okay? Is breaking out, and as long as we hold above, you can say 22.30, but really it's, 22.40, 22.30. We could even back it up to 22.30. Over the course of the next, couple of days. As long as we stay up here, the US dollar Mexican peso is bullish. And the thing is if it continues to rally like this, then if the stock market actually does roll over, the US dollar Mexican peso is going a lot higher. And it's not just the US dollar Mexican peso. Take a look at like the rand. The rand is ripping right now, right? And that's a pretty big move. We're coming off a little bit, but in matter of fact, the US dollar Mexican peso might be playing a little bit of catch up to the rand. But I mean, we're up 1.5%, and that is with the market up. So if the market comes down, these emerging market currencies can really come under pressure, in my opinion. One of the other things that's really important that happened today is the Aussie dollar. The Aussie came right back to the 70.70. Again, this is really key support, right? 70.70. We've been talking about it for the last couple weeks. Came down to it, held it. So what that tells me is if we break through 70.70, that is a very bearish event for the Aussie. Because, going to the weekly chart, this was a false breakout last week, right? False breakout above that multi-year trend line. Yeah, it's almost the 200 period moving average on a weekly basis. And if we get a failure here below 70.70, that's kind of like my cue. I need to sell risk, like sell S&Ps, buy the dollar Mexican peso, or be more aggressive with that. Maybe short the Kiwi. And speaking of the Kiwi actually is barely holding 66 cents right now. We dipped to 65, 75, but we managed to regain our composure. But also realize that this week we have some important data coming from both Australia and New Zealand, and we have the RBA tonight, or it's actually tomorrow morning. So we have the RBA, Reserve Bank of Australia. We have Kiwi employment, and then some inflation data. Next week we have the RBNZ, and that I believe is on Tuesday or Wednesday. Then the RBA monetary policy statement on Thursday, which would be Friday morning. So, some important things happening with the Aussie, New Zealand, and they are, in my opinion, they're pretty vulnerable here. The euros come off, but I am expecting the euro to find some support here at 116.20. That is 161% extension of this last leg higher. It'll be 116.20. I do think that that's where the euro is going to go before it finds some support. I know it's up right now, but I would think that this is what's happening right here. We're going to see a rally back to 118 and then eventually back down to 116 and change. The cable, this is a bull flag pattern as I see it right now. I think we're going to get some support down here below 130, but if I was long, which I'm not, I'm actually short, I'd actually look to sell some more up here, maybe around 131, 130.70, 130.80, somewhere in that neighborhood. The cable does look vulnerable after failing at the 161% extension on Friday. But it is a bull flag, and I can't ignore that right now. Being short, being short, that does make me a little nervous. I'd love to see the cable slice through 120, or excuse me, 130. It's like 129.60. I'd like to see it slip through here and then come back and retest the 128. But again, you can't ignore the bull flag, and I'm trying not to, even though I'm bearish. Let's take a real quick look at gold, because I know people are getting all hot and bothered that gold's gonna, may have seen the top. Look, I'm still in the same camp. While we're above 1920, and really you could just say 1900, there's no reason to be bearish gold. I mean, yes, we can pull back 50 bucks, but look at what we're doing. And this is something we should not ignore. We are just consolidating gains above the all-time highs. That's all we're doing. We have to work off some overbots. Like this relative strength, it's getting worked off. The overbotness, right? So my opinion is gold may do this over the course of the next couple of days, may do this the next couple of days, and then we're going to bounce again. And then if we can't take out that RSI, that'll probably give us a more significant, near-term top. But for right now, all we're doing is consolidating gains. That's all we're doing with gold. So don't get too terribly excited like, oh, gold's going to show a reversal and, the euro is going to drop down to 115, or 114. I don't know about that. I'm not in that camp just yet. I guess one last thing I'll cover really quick is the US dollar Japanese yen. The US dollar Japanese yen is very strong. We're still above 106. Resistance here at 107 should be significant. If you are a bear, a US dollar Japanese yen bear, I would try being bearish up there in the high 106s if you can get it. My focus isn't really on the dollar yen right now. I took a little bit of a stinger on that on Friday, a little bit of a loss, and I'm like, man, I didn't want to short it when it was down, finding buyers below 104.50. But if it gets back up towards 107, I might look to sell some. The jury's still out. But other than that, guys, I want to thank you all for the support, as always. If you are listening to this after the fact, make sure you try us out. It's only $1 for 10 days, okay, to try out ForexAnalytix and listen to the Daily Roundup webinar live and get all this analysis on your mobile app. And it looks like we might have a question. No, Brock was just saying thanks. So thank you, Brock. And guys and gals, I want to thank you for being with me today. I'll see you tomorrow morning on the Face webinar, or I'll see you in the chat rooms. You guys have a great one. Thanks, everybody.